The range of services is wide and the range of solutions hence is wide as well. So the services and the solutions are driven by technology. So we have obviously a host of technology capabilities in Sunlight Global Solutions. We will be increasing our headcount in Bangalore. We are starting Bangalore with more of technology talent at the moment, but we'll keep on expanding, our thoughts about Bangalore as we go forward. It's an amazing location, given the ecosystem there as well.
Yeah.
And I think it adds on to the Sunlight Global Solutions capability to have a presence in Bangalore as well. I think we got to make this happen more and more. If I speak for India for a minute, I think no matter how you look, over the next few years, decades, it's really India's place under the sun to be able to exhibit the right leadership and impact. So I think we are more in the transformational.
Hello and welcome to a very special podcast series, Unusual Suspects. I'm your host, Gaurav Chaudhary. This is a series about unraveling stories of entrepreneurs, investors, and businesses that are disruptors and yet not in your face. Their disruptions have consistently delivered on the purpose and mission they've embarked on. Their values are as strong as the mission. While they're ruthless in pursuing their ambition, they don't stray from being leaders who are not just admired for the vision and relentless pursuit, but also for how they're building an ecosystem of believers who consistently push the boundaries. They allow principles to take precedence over ad hocism. For them, profitability is as important as scale, creating and leading new categories and innovations. In each episode, I speak to one such leader, talking to her or him or them about their businesses, lives, inspirations, interests, challenges, pivot moments and turning points, successes, failures, agonies and ecstasies. It is as much about their personal life stories as about their entrepreneurial journeys. Unusual Suspects streams on Earshot.in, Spotify.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Moneycontrol.com, and a host of other podcast streaming platforms. For this episode, I'm delighted to have Tarun Sareen, Managing Director, Sun Life Asia Service Centers. Tarun has been responsible for driving the organization's growth and delivering the business strategy this far. With his extensive experience in the financial services industry, his single-minded goal is to further establish and grow the company as a benchmark global capability center and optimize the operating model to enable financial outcomes and cost competitiveness with innovative solutions for customers. Welcome to Unusual Suspects, Tarun.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Let me start off with a very basic question for the benefit of our listeners and also my own benefit. How do you describe your company now, today?
I work for Sun Life. And then I'm the MD for Sun Life Global Solutions. Obviously, it's a part of Sun Life. I describe our company as a purpose-led and very much purpose-led company. And we are here to help our clients live healthier lives, enable their lifetime financial security. So all our thoughts, solutions, products are geared towards that. So that's how I describe my company, and values-led as well.
If I may say so, and if I may use the word, this is a new avatar of Sun Life Global Solutions probably that we are witnessing. How is it different from the previous being?
All the previous, you can call it eras, years, 2 or 3 decades, have led us to this point. How it is different is we are excited about the future and very optimistic about the future as well. Mm-hmm. The scope of our responsibilities is increasing. Our capabilities are expanding. And very importantly, our culture continues to advance and evolve. And we are on the path of being a digital leader, enabling new experiences for our clients working with the different business groups in Sun Life. So it's really about architecting the future in a leadership way.
When you say Sun Life Global Solutions, your range of services are very wide. Can you just take me through the range of services that you're offering from here in India?
Yeah, absolutely. The range of services is wide and the range of solutions hence is wide as well. So the services and the solutions are driven by technology. So we have obviously a host of technology capabilities in Sunlight Global Solutions. We have immense operations capabilities supporting the back-end operations, also client care center as well. Anywhere between 18 to 20 million transactions done a year, and 5 to 6 million, somewhere around that neighborhood of calls taken from clients. And you have to know that this is an insurance and a asset management company. So sometimes clients call us at very key moments and defining moments in their lives. So it's very, very important for us to ensure our purpose is served. And when we take a call from the client, just to take one example, we have, apart from operations and technology and digital skills and capabilities, we have what we call knowledge services. And that includes a host of areas like actuarial, financial services, data, so on and so forth. So those are the key capabilities that we have as Sunlight Global Solutions. And this helps us drive the solutions for our clients as well as for our advisors and partners.
How many people do you have now here in India working for you?
So overall, Sunlight Global Solutions is about 5,000, and about 2.5, close to 3,000 are in India. We have two offices, one in Gurugram and the other newly opened in Bengaluru. So that started only in March, so it's growing as well.
And do you intend to increase your headcount in Bengaluru now?
Yes, we do. We will be increasing our headcount in Bengaluru. We are starting Bengaluru with more of technology talent at the moment, but we'll keep on expanding, our thoughts about Bangalore as we go forward. It's an amazing location, given the ecosystem there as well.
Yeah.
And I think it adds on to the Sunlight Global Solutions capability to have a presence in Bengaluru as well.
But if you can give me some numbers, how many more people are you going to add?
I think over the next few months, I would say in certainly 50, 100, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe more. And the idea is to really add niche skills and deep domain expertise. And that's really a thrust for Bangalore. It's also a thrust for anybody we hire, because we continue as a global capability center, which we are. We're going to continue to hire niche capabilities. And then leverage partners as well to provide the solutions that we do provide to our business groups and hence to our clients and advisors.
So what's the current number now?
Current number in
of people here working, employees?
Total Sunlight Global Solutions is about 5,000. Close to 5,000, including partners.
In India?
In India, it's about closer to 3,000 and about 2,000 in Philippines.
Okay, and how many more people are you adding in India? You said about 100 more?
We're going to be adding about 50 to 100 more in Bengaluru, but every year we grow around, in double digits percentage-wise. So, apart from obviously you have to backfill, but we grow anyway, 12, 15% every year in terms of the income overall.
That's right. And what's your future growth plans of becoming a future-ready company for employees? What does it mean?
Many dimensions. I think the first one that we think about is continuing to be able to advance our purpose in real terms. And what that means, if you double click on that statement, is really playing a leadership role to take our respective company into the future, our respective purpose elements into the future. New client experiences, new digital relationships, for example, and continue to evolve. The other piece is continue to advance our culture as well. I certainly have a vision of this being one of the most empowering companies. We have invited people from different levels to display leadership, because I don't think leadership is directly correlated to position. And we have to make that real. You should come back and keep on asking me on this if you ever get the time as to whether we're advancing on this particular path, because it's very, very personal to me. I'm a student of leadership, fan of leadership, and I expect that from everybody around and expect them to make me better as well. So I think expanding the culture, one of the elements is an empowered culture and a culture of thrivingness and joy as well. And I think it starts right from when you hire and how you onboard, hiring people who want to work for a purpose-led company. For example, we spent almost, I would say, 6 to 7 months just building a value system from ground up. We actually asked employees over 3-hour sessions across different groups and across the 2 locations, Philippines and India, what do they want Sun Life Global Solutions to be. At that time, it was Asia Service Centers. We are obviously now calling it Sun Life Global Solutions, as to what they want the culture to be. And we identified those themes as well. Obviously, we have an old overall company theme, but we added our own set of values or rules of living, if you will, as to how we want to chart our course forward. One of them, clear one, is to really take the forefront. So create new pathways for the company, solve problems, manifest the future. So it's very, very important for us to look at, for example, the emerging technologies. It's important for us to look at emerging trends and see how we can leverage all of this to ultimately achieve our mission on a continuous basis. Which is obviously helping the clients. So it's very, very simple that way.
You are a veteran of the GCC sector in India. In many ways, a GCC is like a sector of sectors. It's not just one sector, right? The GCC industry. Yeah. What's your outlook on the GCC sector in India?
I really think I've been in it for over 20 years. I'm losing count, I think, as I grow older as to how many years, and I stopped counting. It's better to stop counting at my age. But I am very, very optimistic and energized by the GCC, I guess, sector of sectors. The reason being that normally the design for GCC is very niche. I mean, there is, generally speaking, you may do a lot of things, but you have a core design for every GCC. The opportunity to display leadership for, if I may call it, the parent company, I think is an amazing invitation. Being part of a GCC, you have the ownership and responsibility, and you have to also many times own that. And I think that's true for every company, no matter whether you're a GCC or you're working in the core location. But increasingly, I think GCCs are making a great dent, read impact, to take the respective missions of their companies forward. I think it's inviting, if I just take India example, it's inviting folks from India and our ecosystem to display higher order leadership. In my role, for example, it's not only about India, it's about Philippines, and we're also looking at other locations that can help Sun Life and help us and help our clients go forward. So I think it's an amazing opportunity for all of us to exhibit higher order leadership, develop great competencies, and achieve the missions that our companies expect us to achieve.
Generally speaking, just sticking on to that point on GCCs, if you look at the evolution of GCCs in India, it's a remarkable story. So from the late 90s or the mid 90s to now, in about 30 years or less than 30 years, GCCs in India the sector has moved up completely on the value chain from earlier BPOs. Started off with call centers, BPOs, KPOs. Now it is at the highest rung of the knowledge economy. How do you describe this journey? And going ahead, what do you foresee for GCCs in India?
I'll use a simple maybe template. There are many other templates you can use. I think the GCC industry has gone from being a run focused, Y2K is an example. It wasn't only GCC, it was also the services companies, to grow and then transformational. I really think that we're in the transformational era. I think we've got to make this happen more and more. If I speak for India for a minute, I think no matter how you look over the next few years, decades, it's really India's place under the sun to be able to exhibit the right leadership and impact. So I think we are more in the transformational phase. I guess I'm saying the same thing as you said in your question. And I think we've got to take the bull by the horns. We've got to keep on earning our right to be transformational. We've got to keep on earning our way to take our respective companies and those who count on us, meaning our clients and partners, forward. I think that has to be the crux. The crux has to be how we're helping the larger world, meaning the clients of your company, partners of your company, and your employees forward. Because it could be a great vehicle of not only impact, it can be a great vehicle of change for India or for Philippines as well, or whichever location we are in. When I say vehicle of change, what I mean is giving amazing places to work, connecting people to the purpose of the company. The new gen wants to work for a company that are purpose oriented, that have a view of the planet, sustainability. The new generation wants to work for a company that is socially aware and is contributing. So I think it's an amazing opportunity for people like me to be able to, quite humbly, lead the change and be part of the change and be a change agent. So taking a rightful place in terms of being transformational and doing the right thing for the communities that we operate in and doing the right thing for the company we work for and the clients and people who depend on us, I think is how I see my purpose, my personal purpose.
And in your own range of services, the repertoire is very wide, from actuarial services to artificial intelligence and also robotics.
Yes.
Which is the most difficult service to render from a service delivery point of view and also from a talent pool point of view from India?
I'll say this, and I'm not being very sweet, still my experience. I'll say this, that the execution that I see with the team I'm blessed with is just amazing. So I think a lot of things get done and solved very, very well. I would say the challenge is about continuously architecting the future and timing the new things well and leveraging it for your company. Gen AI is an example. We are all looking at what are some of the use cases and how we can harness it for our own purpose and going ahead with the right speed, with the right output in terms of quality output, magnifying the output, and so on and so forth. I think your challenges both in the runs, if I just take run and transform, both in the run side as well as transformation. The run side of challenges are how do you take care of the legacy? If I just take technology as an example, given my background, how do you leverage legacy? How do you sweat your assets while going into the future? So that continues to be a challenge that you've got to keep on going after. And then there's some challenges on the transformation side. What do you experiment with? Where do you really put your resources? How much attention, I'm not saying money, but how much attention do you give to transformational elements and trends? And how much, can you be bolder? And that's one of the key themes within our company, being bolder. So that doesn't mean being rash. It just means that you have to do the right experiments to go into the future. And obviously Gen AI and some of the other, even quantum, for example, these are great candidates for some experimentation. So that's a challenge. How do you tackle something that's new that you don't know enough about? And then how do you tackle something you know very, very well about, but you have to still move that forward as well? So legacy being an example of that.
Yeah, this is an example of the uncertainty of the future, because you talked about the leap of faith for every new
yes.
frontier of science that is being developed.
Yes.
But what about the talent pool? Is this a bit of a challenge in India also?
My dominant thought, there is a bit of a challenge, but my dominant thought on that is we are blessed with the kind of talent pool we have in India. In my job, along with my leadership team, we continuously look for what are the other locations, 10 years later, 20 years later, what are some of the other geos that would, become more and more, I would say, powerful or impactful that we should invest in or experiment with or, and go forward with. I would say for many years until now, India continues to have a talent which has a broad spectrum, right from entry level to the most senior SMEs and constant input to the talent pool. So I think we are blessed with India to have that talent pool. Yes, I think the challenges are to make sure the talent is more and more ready to contribute. However, again, I think it's a blessing because our talent is very ambitious. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to get promoted to some level. They want senior, senior jobs, responsibility. So I think we've got to harness that energy that our young folks have to be able to, learn more. And so if you really ask me, I actually don't think of this as a challenge. I actually think of it as quite humbly as a leader that no matter how many geographies, I'm responsible for, I'm sitting in India as a geography. How can I do my bit to help the talent? I think I look at it differently. It's more of how can I help? Because I see I'm going to use a kid in a candy store, right? It's just so much talent. I'm personally so impressed. For example, I love to see somebody entry level come into VP jobs. I'm just making it up, could be SVP. VP jobs in 12 years. Because by the time you get into, VP, SVP like us, you're like 20 years, 25 years experience. You're lost touch with the technology.
That's right.
So, so I think coming up with some new frameworks for the talent and creating a change is I'll use the word moral responsibility as a leader. So I think we cannot forget really our responsibility as a leader because I have benefited so much, from great talent that has chosen to work with me.
Right. Adoption of digital-first strategy across GCCs is an essential ingredient for service delivery quality. What are some of the innovations led by Sun Life Global Solutions, which also is a reflection of a microcosm of Sun Life?
Yeah, we call ourselves a microcosm of Sun Life, and we put the statement with a high degree of responsibility. Obviously, one simple reason to call us a microcosm, I'm just going to spend 30 seconds on this. Simple reason to call us a microcosm is that we do work for all the business groups as well as the corporate functions of the company. But that places a responsibility on us. If you have visibility to a lot of work being done across the company and across the spectrum, how are you leveraging that to add more value? So that's one of the pillars of the strategy that my team and I have put together. That we've got to absolutely grow the value for the company, and we have to give it some real terms. How do you grow the value? One way to do that is innovation. So we have a focus on innovation. We have an innovation hub. It's a global innovation hub. We actually work with our business groups, take some problems and find solutions to it. We've given solutions in terms of eKYC, so on and so forth. We are leveraging startups to bring in solutions in-house as well. And every year I like to see that our innovation quotient in terms of number of innovation delivered to production go up. So we are measuring ourselves on it and spending considerable time and resources and attention on innovation. Sometimes those innovations are small. We have something in the mainframe side, which is called ZDevOps, which is an innovation. We continuously receive CEO awards for our transformation and innovations as well. We brought innovation into our client care center with gamification as well. So the list is endless. I mean, at this current point in time, I would say there's more than 20 innovations in the works, and I expect 50% of this to land in production within the next 12 months.
Tarun, tell me something about your personal journey in Sun Life Global Solutions, and supplementary to that is, your own stature as a thought leader in this space. Are you going to assume any structured role as an industry leader?
I think whenever the role comes in, if I find that I can enable an agenda to go forward, that's my personal kick. Somehow I don't crave the limelight. I'm better off away from it, I think, because if you get it, it's fine. But I think the main thing is to be able to create some good work. And to me, that's very, very important. I have a lovely family. I leave them alone for many hours. So when I go home, I should give a good report card as to what I actually did and what we did. Most of the times it's we, it's not me, but I want to be an enabler. Recently, and you'll see this, recently I've been offered the chair for the North chapter of GCC, NASCOM GCC. So I'm leaning towards accepting that. We've talked about the agenda of it over the next 2 years. So I think there'll be a little bit more transformational pieces to it if everybody supports each other. I think my calling is really to be able to make a difference. My calling is to create as many leaders as possible. My calling is that when somebody comes into Sun Life Global Solutions, everybody's an MD. If I can just use that as a term, I like to see hierarchy in terms of contribution versus position. And sometimes I walk away from office thinking I didn't do my best job as well. So I think being honest and authentic is very important, and caring. While you want to be very performance orientated, but create a company where people can come in and do the best work of their lives, and they can be authentic and fearless. I think it's very, very important.
Thank you, Tarun, for taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation and sharing your deep insights and perspectives.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. It was a pleasure.